speaking of girly, when I was talking about doing my toes, that's how I've been feeling now that I've added color to my toes. I'm feeling like very girly and, very feminine. Mm-hmm. It's just the weirdest thing.
I love bright toenails. When you said you just were branching out and with the bright toenails, I was like, oh, welcome, sister. It's so fun.
I've never done it. It's like the first time. It is so unusual for me to like anything. Like I've never put color. It's always just like buffing them, so this like feels really nice.
Yeah.
If animals could talk, which one would you have a conversation with?
A lion.
Really?
Yeah.
It's crazy you say that because that's the first thing that came to my mind when I wrote the question. I was like, you know what? It would be a lion. I don't know why I would choose a lion, but why would you choose a lion?
I don't know. I think but they seem so foreign and powerful.
Yeah,
and,
power. Yes. That's the first thing that came to me. It's like power.
Yeah. And humbling, to be any kind of communication from a lion.
That's crazy. That's the first thing I said to myself. I was like, I would choose a lion. That's crazy. You're listening to the show. My name is Elizabeth Mesa, and I'm here with Tara Buck. And if you want to follow Tara, Twitter is I am Tara Buck, and Instagram Tara Buck. And you also have tarabuck.com.
That's right.
And, I wanted to talk about your husband. You both co-own wine. And it's Ledbetter wine.
Yeah, Ledbetter Syrah.
Ledbetter, what is it?
It's a Syrah. So
Syrah.
That's just the type of wine.
Oh, okay.
So my husband started it. It's his love project.
Yes.
That he started with a partner of his in probably 2006, I think. And they did such a wonderful job with it. And they built it. And it's, then, of course, because it was such a great project and I love drinking it, I had to get involved. So I poked my nose in and do everything that I can to help them with it. And I just love it. I'm really proud of it. It's delicious. We do about 300 cases a year. It's in some of the best restaurants in California. And if you can get your hands on it, I highly recommend it.
And it's ledbetterwines.com.
That's right.
The website. Mm-hmm. Now, what type? You said it's a Syrah, you said?
Yeah,
Syrah.
Syrah.
So what is it? Like, I don't know much. Like, I'm barely starting to get into wines.
Yeah.
So I don't really, what is that exactly?
Well, so they're just different types of grapes, So Syrah, Cabernet is probably the most popular grape. You have Merlot, you have Pinot Noir, you have all these different types of grapes. And Syrah is often used to blend in other wines.
Yeah.
But it's delicious by itself. And it often has a little spice to it. It's a really nice, full-bodied red wine, but not as heavy and tannic as a lot of Cabernets. Doesn't have quite as much structure. But yeah, it's a really delicious.
I'm gonna have to taste the wine because I just started getting into them, and especially red, and it tastes so good. It's like I tried to get into them when I was like younger, and it didn't work out. It's like I would just get headaches, and even if I drank good quality wines, I would get headaches. Maybe I was just picking the wrong ones that had. What is the thing that they say that maybe it had too much of the I don't know. I guess it contains something.
Yeah, the sulfites.
The sulfites, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would just give me headaches. And then I just I thought, you know what? Maybe it's just not for me. Maybe I need to just kind of give it a rest and then try it later. And now I actually was in Orlando. When did I go to Orlando? It was June last month. I went to Orlando, and that's when I started drinking wine. And I was like, these are really, really good. And I started drinking different types of wines, like white, red, and never got a headache. And I was like, maybe now I'm ready. Maybe my body changed and now it's ready to accept wine.
Yeah. I know. I don't know. I feel like, good quality wine is a completely different ballgame, I think it's very healthy.
It is. They do say that if you have red wine, it's good for the heart.
Yeah.
It's very good. And actually I use that as an excuse in the evening, especially if I've had a long day. I will always have a glass of wine. Yeah. I was like, you know what? They did say it's good for you, and it's supposed to kind of relax you. So if I know I'm not going to drive anywhere, because I'm such a lightweight, I don't really drink too much. So anything, if I have a little bit of wine, it like gets to me right away.
Oh,
like
it's good for the heart. It's good
yes.
for the head. It's good for your love life. I mean, you know.
You know what? Like right now, like I don't have a love life.
Oh, well.
So I have to be careful with that. Like I can't.
It's good for your own personal love life.
Yeah. Like I can't really, for me, it's like, I'm sure with everyone else, you know, if people drink, I'm sure it kind of like, you know, it loosens you up a little, like your hair, you know, you let your hair down. But for me, it's kind of like an aphrodisiac, like drinking. So if I don't have anyone, I can't, I'm like, okay, you know what? Like I have to limit myself to how much I drink. So it doesn't cross that line of where it's going to touch like those emotions, you know, where it's like, okay.
Elizabeth, are you afraid you're going to go out and prowl? Is that what you're telling me? 2 glasses of wine and you're like on the on the street.
That's why I was like, I can't do that. I'm like, I cannot do that. You know, one of the updates that I said I was going to wait and like mention tomorrow, but I was just going to like kind of just tap on it a little bit since you mentioned that.
Yeah.
So part of the, also like the drinking, but then also I've noticed that whenever it's that time of the month, always like as soon as like you finish, for whatever reason, like it's just like, you know, crazy. Like the hormones are just screaming. I almost feel like, you know, like I'm a dog in heat. Right?
I know. It's true. I think I don't know what the science behind it is, but it really does. It feels like, okay, we got through the desert. Now let's have some water, please.
Yeah. And it's just like, and so that, usually that time is very, I have to be careful. I have to be careful that, you know, certain people don't get a hold of me. Like, for example, like this one person, this one guy, it's like I found out that he knows a guy that, you know, he was like a steady person that I had on the side. He wasn't a relationship, but he was just somebody that was on the side, like steady. And so when I found out that these two knew each other, then of course that other one became untouchable. I was like, I cannot touch him because of that, because he knows this one.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the kind of person that I have to kind of like, you know, stay away from, because if he reaches out to me when it's that time, I'm, you know, then I'm going to be like, yes, okay, so when do you want to get together? And I was like, I can't do that.
Do you set alarms, like an alerts on your phone? Don't answer this call this week.
Oh my God, you know what? I don't, because usually I don't, because I mean, I know I'm not supposed to, but I always do.
Yeah.
I always like, you know, like I'm like texting and like, okay, you know, just let me know when you're free. And if they come back and I'm like, well, yeah, okay, I'm free. So just tell me what day. Then that's when I'm just like, okay, Elizabeth, you need to calm down. Like you need to not respond to that. You know, you need to just like stop. Because then that's when I'll go through with, you know, having to, you know, see this person. And I just don't do that. Like, I'm sure men don't care, but how do you feel? Like if you were, say there was a guy, you know, like, I don't know, before you were married, like say there was a guy that you were hooking up with. Like he wasn't a relationship at all. He was just someone that you were hooking up with, and that's it, because you just don't have time for a relationship. And then another guy comes along that is interested in you, and he wants to go out with you. He wants to date you, and you're interested in him. There's chemistry, but then you find out that they know each other, and then all of a sudden, like that makes them, like for me, that was like off limits. Like, how do you feel? Or is that not just?
No, I'm the same. I just don't like. I don't like complications in that arena. You know, I'd like to keep it. You know, but I'm also, when I know I like someone, I like them.
Right.
And so if you know. I'm pretty, you know, I like focus in, and that's where my attention goes. So, you know, I guess once you sort of decide that's what I'm going after, it doesn't matter who else is around. But in general, I don't believe in complicating things more than they need to, especially in the romantic arena, you know?
Yeah. I know, like this guy was a guy that I was like, oh my God, it's like, chemistry, everything was there. But when I found that they knew each other, I was like, oh. Yeah. And even though this guy was not a relationship, he was just a hookup on the side that I just kind of was using in the meantime, you know, just to kind of fulfill that need.
Is the second one then off the table forever, or you're just kind of waiting to see if it actually develops into something real?
He was off the table forever because of that. But then cut to now, like I'm done with that other guy, and now I'm kind of like kicking myself in the behind for like, kind of just, I don't know, like not following through with this other guy. Because now I'm kind of like, shoot, it's like I'm done with this other guy. And it's like, why did I do that? Like, why? I should have just gone with this other guy. Yeah, it's crazy. Thank you so much, Tara, for being here on the show. I cannot believe like the hour goes by so fast.
I know. I feel like we could talk for another 5 hours.
It just goes by so quickly. It's like I'm looking at the time. It's like, oh my gosh. I'm like, the show's already over.
I know. Well, I loved being here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. And don't forget, Ray Donovan premieres August 6th on Showtime. Check your local listings for I guess it's like 9 p.m. and
9 p.m.
right across the board for everybody, right?
Sunday night, Showtime, 9 p.m., yeah.
Yeah. And then are you active? You're very active on your Twitter, Instagram.
I'm pretty active. Yeah. I mean, I'll let people know.
Okay.
Yeah, I go in and out. I'm like the rest of my life, I'm like really into things and then I lose interest and then I'm really into something else and I lose interest.
I know. It's so easy to do that, right?
Yeah.
Before we end the show, we cannot end it before asking you the question, what do you wear? Do you prefer thongs?
Well, right now I'm not wearing anything.
Really?
But, yeah.
So you're commando.
I'm a commando at the moment, but
she's wearing a black dress and she's commando.
Right. But like to be fair, like a black muumuu. Very chic black
So
muumuu.
you're like free. You're
Right,
like, I
I'm
need to
free.
be free. It's like just, just be free.
But normally a thong probably. Actually, whatever. It depends
Yeah.
on the outfit.
So do you go commando a lot?
I like to. Not always. It's not always appropriate.
Okay, so when you're shooting, like the times that you've shot Ray Donovan, like were you commando at times?
Yeah, I think you saw one of those. That was on screen.
What about like the new
You mean
season?
under my police uniform?
Yeah, like you
That's
become
a secret.
really.
Sometimes I have nothing on underneath that police uniform.
Nothing, just like ready just to take it off. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to see the season. So that's coming up in like 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I'm so excited to see
I know.
it
I'm
also.
excited. I can't wait to see it. Will you be watching when it airs?
Yeah,
You
definitely.
are? Yeah. You're going to watch like the episode where you star in?
Oh, I mean, I'll be watching every single
episode. Yeah.
And I'll probably, when I come on screen, I'll probably be, clenched up and
Are you
really
gonna, like,
uncomfortable. But
Close your eyes.
Luckily, I'm surrounded by other people that I think that are so great. I think I can't fall. I think they'll make sure that I'm.
Wait, are you
not
going to
humiliated.
Are you going to go to the premiere when it premieres the showing? With like the cast and crew, or are you going to just watch it at home with your husband and friends?
Oh, well, I'm not sure that. I don't think we're actually going to do a premiere this year.
You're not
like
going
a
to. Okay.
premiere. So, but I'll probably be watching it at home
With your husband and like
yeah,
friends.
and friends, yeah.
Yeah. That's always fun, when friends come over and then, you watch like the first episode.
It's great. I love it.
Yeah, it's so much fun. Thank you so much for coming. And don't forget, follow Tara at I am Tara Buck on Twitter, and Instagram is Tara Buck, and also your website, tarabuck.com. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I loved having you. I cannot believe it's just like I could just talk to you forever and ever and ever. You're going to have to come back.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to come back, especially when the film comes out.
Yeah. We can talk about that, and there'll be a whole host of other things to talk about. We could talk about working out. I feel like, there are all these other things.
Yeah,
that we need
there's
to
so
discuss.
much. Yeah.
Nose hair. Like, I really wanted to get in on that, but we
Wait, okay, so do you do that? Do you pluck your hairs,
course I
or do
do.
you wax them?
Your nose hairs, you can't wax them, can you?
Yeah, you can. I used to wax them before. I used to go to a Russian woman.
And she gets in there and waxes it?
Yeah, she would go in but it hurts though. Like she would grab like one of those those sticks, from like the lollipop sticks, and she would put like the wax, and so she would wax me from like here down.
Ooh.
And she would put it in there, and then she would just stick that paper in there with her finger, just kind of pat it to make sure it's stuck, and then she would just pull it all out. Yeah, she would do. I would get my nose done like all the time. Now I just pluck it.
I pluck,
Yeah, it hurts,
like
doesn't
crazy.
it?
But isn't there something almost kind of addictive about that feeling?